So here we are, SolarCon 2025 out here in beautiful Las Vegas. Here with Nick Sheldon. Obviously, my name is Mark Brown. Thanks for joining us today. Nick, we just had the opportunity to hear from like three of the sharks from Shark Tank. Damon, Kevin, and Robert, talking about answering questions, Q&A. But it was cool hearing them talk about the solar industry and their views towards the solar industry. Yeah. Any major takeaways that you took from them on that?
I mean, I got a ton of takeaways from it, but just the overarching idea that they would invest in solar at this point where we are, whether we have tax credits or don't have tax credits, these are some of the smartest investors in the country. Yeah. They run a television show on how to make money as an entrepreneur, and they look at this industry as a whole as an opportunity to invest in, because only 4% of the country has residential rooftop solar.
Yeah, they were all shocked when they heard that stat, and they're like, why? Yeah. And then I know Kevin, Mr. Wonderful, was like, I have solar on some of my properties because I love cash flow and the economics just make sense. Yeah. And they're some of the smartest businessmen on the planet.
I mean, and Damon said he's got an entire compound for his bug out prepping that's going to be completely generated and run by solar, because he wants the independence and the ability to know that he won't lose his power should he need it.
Yeah, well, he talking about the freedom of having it and stuff like that.
Right.
So when the guys asked, what would you do? Would you invest in this industry at this point in juncture, given the current administration and the tariffs and stuff like that? And, Kevin's response to the tariffs obviously is I think this is a very much needed thing. Mm-hmm. It's going to be a little bit rough for, maybe a few months here, but it's just fair. And it's going to create better trade deals with everybody. And, it's time to quit getting walked upon. I thought that was really insightful.
I think it's interesting because you're going to get a different perspective from the solar sales reps, the solar companies, and the household homeowner that is considering solar, right? Because if you look at the overall market, the stock market in general, we've had a trend that's going down. But I always think when people have doubts, it's time to zoom out. And if you zoom out on that chart, it shows that the market was down here and goes up, comes down, goes up, comes down. And over time, it continues its trend upward. So yes, the next 4, 5, 6 months might be rocky, turbulent, unknown, uncommon, uncharted territory for us. But we will get through it. Then when we come out the other side, hopefully we have better relations with our foreign countries.
Oh, yes.
We have better pricing for our home owners, and we have an opportunity to still provide food and clothing and education for our families at home.
Right.
So it's just, you've got to navigate that turbulent water in order to, see through the storm. Right? But right now you got this scatter of reps going around the storm.
Right.
When really the safest place to be is right in the middle. You've got to run into it. The eye of the storm is the calmest place.
Yeah.
And those that run into it are going to be able to adapt. And those that go around it will find out the storm will always outpace them. They will always find reasons not to go out and make their goals a reality or help people achieve whatever it is they're trying to offer them. Right.
Very true. That kind of takes me to one of the ladies from SEIA that talked earlier today, when we kind of talk about the administration, and the majority of the largest growth in solar in 2024 were in Trump states.
Interesting.
Right. And so she had a big graph, and I've got a picture of it we could share when this goes live. And she was saying, here's all the states, the highest, top 15 states that went solar last year, and the most solar, Texas was number 1, Florida was number 2. And, and they're these are heavy red states that are adopting solar faster than all the others.
Yeah.
And so that was a pretty cool thing to see, because it's not we're trying to get politics out of energy, right? And energy just needs to be something we produce everywhere, right, as much as we can of it. So we are, American funded energy, and we are independent on energy. We're not relying on other countries for energy. The cheapest and most affordable way to do that, and cleanest way to do that, is solar, and that's proven.
Yeah.
And it was cool to see the sharks kind of also be in alignment with those statements, and it was very insightful.
I mean, we're in a global adhesive economy. India, China, Iran, all emerging as major energy consumers and producers. You've got third world countries that are putting up solar all over the place. I mean, we visited Thailand last year.
Yeah.
And Malaysia had solar everywhere. Yeah. It was crazy. we haven't adopted at the same rates as these other countries have. And I think it's because of how the country was set up for solar originally. And we've adopted, right? Now we have options that aren't loans and leases, and we have opportunities for homeowners not to come out of pocket. The real like rubber will meet the road when the individual that's in the home consulting with the homeowner stops focusing on trying to reduce a bill or talk about the cost. That's not why people go solar. That's a misconception. They go solar for the energy independence. They go solar because they're tired of throwing their money away. They go solar because there's equity in their property. They're putting money in a piggy bank on their roof instead of in a utility company's pocket. They go solar because they're not on an adjustable rate mortgage at their house, right?
Yep.
The great thing about an adjustable rate mortgage in the 80s is it went up, but it also went down. We're in an adjustable rate rental agreement, but in my 44 years has never gotten less.
For your electric bill?
Only got, right? So if we can come in and play the role of the hero, somebody who can provide an opportunity for them to fix their costs, keep them at that rate, no escalation, no money out of pocket, and own the same exact asset that they're currently paying to rent as a liability, then they would do it. There's really only two reasons why people don't go solar. The first is they don't understand how it works, and the second is they just didn't qualify for it. It's not because of any other reason than that. If you qualify, you always tell me when we're sitting down, why doesn't everybody go solar?
Right.
And I'm like, well, why didn't you? And they say, I didn't know about it. And then I say, pull out your phone. Let's help as many people as we can before the benefits are gone. And guess what? Those benefits are potentially going to be diminishing or gone soon with the current legislation.
Yeah.
That's why we need to adopt and adapt to the current situation, not focus on price, but focus on the value that you bring into the homeowner and what they're receiving for that value that they're forking out, right?
Right.
I don't. That's my mindset.
No, it's good. I love the passion behind that. I can tell you're so passionate. I know we all are so passionate, and you nailed it. Like, we get the opportunity to be the hero. You know, a big common theme over the last 2 days when we hear from some of the panelists and the theme of the industry on why is only 5% of the U.S. gone solar. You know, when there's not like a store you can go to and just be like, I want to go buy solar today. You know, why are so many of us guys in this industry out there just trying to be the hero, trying to save you? Like, I bet you've had people knock on your door, right, if you're a homeowner, and ask you, like, why don't you have solar panels yet? Like, why? And we deal with this every day. And when we finally actually get in the home and we get to meet with homeowners and we explain to them and educate them how solar works and the finances behind it and the economics and the numbers, the most common thing I hear, and I know you hear the same thing, is, why doesn't everybody do this? And then my only response is, why haven't you done this yet? How many people did it take before one of my well-trained guys was able to like get through to you to have us sit down and explain the economics? And I think Kevin O'Leary, Mr. Wonderful, said something great today. Is like, the technology is so much better today that it's almost impossible for the economics not to make sense. And he was like, even if the tax credits go away, it's still a great decision. He's like, if you're going to pay the bill anyway, why not have something that's stable and fixed that you are in control of versus dealing with all this craziness from the electric companies?
Right.
And I just thought that it was really cool. So, kind of piggyback that.
Yeah. I mean, everybody has a different filter that they view life through. People ask me when I'm in the home, like, who is your competition? And they always are baffled when I'm like, it's not other solar companies.
No.
You can only have one highest rated roofing and solar company, right? Everybody else that says that made it up.
Right.
And so I said, it's not other solar companies that we compete against. It's the other uneducated, untrained door knockers that come knock your door.
Right.
And when we show up, we're the 15th, 500th, whatever it is person there. And you don't want to listen to us because you've had uneducated people knock your door, make a fool of themselves, and misrepresent their company. We have educated people. And the last several homeowners that I sat with all said, like, the person that came to my door was very well versed. He understood his product. He definitely made me more interested than anybody else has. And he had broken down some of the barriers that I have. And I'm like, I love hearing that because that is what we train. And that is the experience you should receive. My competition is all those guys that made it hard for you to open the door and listen to my guys. I'm so glad you gave them a chance. How do you feel? And they're like, I'm thrilled.
Right.
And that's who we compete against. It's the other guys that give this industry a bad name.
I was talking to a few of these guys in here that they're always obviously at the vendors trying to sell me marketing, and they're like, why don't you at Valor like spend all this money on marketing? And I was like, well, I want to make sure I can give the best price for my homeowners, and if I had marketing, I can't give that best price to my homeowners. That's why I have well-trained sales reps that believe in our core values and our mission, which is to empower Colorado. And then obviously we have to expand, empower homeowners to make a good decision and save just crazy amounts of money by switching over to a cheaper, more affordable plan.
And even if it's not cheaper or more affordable, you're only a couple rate hikes away from it being both.
Yeah, like worst case scenario, let's say the tax credit goes away. It's still going to be a 2 or 3 year difference between, hey, now I'm still saving money every month.
Right. And the reality is 92% of people never even put that tax credit towards their loan anyway.
Yeah, agreed.
So if they're not going to put it towards that, then it doesn't necessarily need to be a part of the program.
Well, so, again, I want to kind of take it back to the panel we just had with like the Sharks. And so Kevin O'Leary, Mr. Wonderful, he has a company called Tax Hive. He said, they are helping homeowners every single day deal with, getting the tax credit. He's like, only about 40 or 50% of homeowners that they deal with that actually use the tax credit or really like get the tax credit. And when they do their polls, they say that only about 40 or 50%, that was the reason they went solar. Like they were going to do it either way once they understood, once they saw the numbers and the economics.
Yeah.
So that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
So that's Tax Hive.
Yeah. And the Sharks.
Yeah, it's great.
Brian Tracy and Goggins up next. So
yeah,
it's jam packed. We'll make sure we update you the next time we can sit down and do the next show.
For sure. All right, nice and quick. We'll see you guys soon.
Cheers.
On to the next one.